Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Digital Forensic Series. My name is Jared. I'm here with Heather, Paul, and Josh. We wanted to come to you today and bring some clarity to Cellebrite Inseyets. There's a lot of questions going around about it, and we just want to make sure that we're on the same page, that you have all the answers that you need, and understand what your 2024 is going to look like as you transition over to Inseyets. Now, this Dig 4 is going to be just a snippet of some sort of frequently asked questions that we're getting. But after this, soon after this, you're going to see Fundamentals Matters coming, specifically covering Inseyets, Ask the Expert videos. Heather and I are doing a specific recording, sort of walking through Cellebrite Inseyets, and plenty more of content as needed. Again, we like to keep our finger on the pulse of the community and understand what you guys need to hear, what you need to see. So we will adjust as we need and bring to you the content to get you through this transition. Now, we sort of broke this up into a few different pieces here today, talking through the different facets of Inseyets. So first, we're going to start with Paul. If you can help us understand a little bit about the UFED and premium transition and what that looks like as customers are now going to be using Inseyets.
Thanks, Jared. So the transition from UFED to Inseyets, for those using UFED kind of day to day, is going to be huge. You're going to have access to pretty much full file system extractions for all the devices that have been supported in premium in the past, and now combined with UFED. So kind of unlocking all that evidence, all that data that you're going to be able to gain access to from iOS to Android. There's going to be upgrade paths as well. So whether you have a touch or 4PC, and the transition is going to be available to move from that into Inseyets, giving you those capabilities to gain access to that. So not only giving you access to the extraction capabilities, but also in the unlocking capabilities as well. On top of that, it's more than just the full file system access for from the UFED side. You're also going to have access to streamlining. So streamlining your investigation. So what that's going to be is it's going to be able to push extractions right from the extraction component into the decoding piece. So kind of making your workflow much more efficient, much more quicker, and much more get data to the people that need it right away. And that's going to be also at the endpoint level and also at the agency level. So it kind of gives you multiple options for the different types of agencies that this is going to feed into. You're also going to have things like triage, and also lab management pieces, right? So to be able to manage your licenses, your versioning, all that's going to be bundled into this. So it's a big offering. It's a big improvement and a big plus pretty much for gaining access to as much data as possible.
Paul, do you think you would do an I beg to differ on streamline and triage and what all that stuff means? That might be a good idea.
I think that's a fantastic idea.
Okay.
So
sorry, Jared, I interrupted.
No, that's okay. You're allowed. So Paul, you said towards the beginning, full file system, pretty much for every device that we support. So with that, I guess I can kind of envision a UFED only user pressing that extraction button and opening Physical Analyzer and seeing huge numbers. I just want to make sure everyone understands the full file system is getting you the most data that we essentially have access to. And so we're bringing all of that to that sort of regular UFED experience with this transition. So when Paul said full file system, it's going to be a huge change for a lot of people. Those previous premium users, it's kind of streamlining all the things that you're used to. But it's pretty exciting to see some of this stuff coming to people for the first time, and it'll be really interesting to see that. I guess those eyes pop when they see the hundreds of thousands of locations instead of just a handful, things like that coming through.
Yeah, exactly. And stuff that you don't have access to in a normal advanced logical or a backup file. I mean, it's night and day. The numbers speak for themselves, not only just for the size, but the amount of granular data that you have access to for any type of investigations you're working, whether it's law enforcement side, whether it's private sector. I mean, the amount of data that you have access to from a full file system, it's not comparable for what we do in the advanced logical.
Even access to like simple wall files. The other night, I spent 2.5 hours looking for a Bluetooth connection that's probably sitting in the wall. And I didn't get it because of advanced logical. 2.5 hours to get nothing.
There you go. All right, Josh, sort of kicking over to the Physical Analyzer side. If you can help us understand a little bit about the changes that are coming, what sort of I guess the truth of what's happening here as we transition Physical Analyzer over to Insights.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to start by talking about the meme that Alexis put out, the Freddy with the Scooby, and he's pulling the mask out, and Insights is actually PA Ultra. To some degree, that is true. However, there are some things that are going to be in Insights that we just can't do in Ultra. It's just the fact of the matter, right? We released Media Origin with Ultra back in version 8.6, I think, but we wanted to take that a little bit further. So it made sense to have Physical Analyzer kind of take that next iterative step. Regardless of what version you put on it, it just needed to evolve. I was working with a customer yesterday, as a matter of fact, and he was working with a extraction in PA7 and it crashed on him. Some of the changes that we've made in Insights kind of helps mitigate some of those crashing and whatnot. Now you don't have to leave your workstation running overnight. You can close it up, come back the next morning, open it back up, and all of your work is still there. But I do want to mention too, I told Heather I would share this story yesterday. Prior to Cellebrite, I was with Kroll, which is a private consulting firm. And one of the things I was asked to do while I was there was to evaluate PA8 at the time. And basically, should we go ahead and migrate to this, or should we keep PA7 on the virtual machines that we had? And after driving it for this was right after it was released. So first part of 22, I believe.
Okay, so like 8.0, 8.1.
Yeah, it was like 8.1, I think.
Okay.
And thank you for clarifying that.
Sure.
So after driving it for a few weeks, I went back and I was like, I don't think it's there yet. I just don't think it's quite ready. There were some features that were in 7 that were missing, and there were some performance issues, and it's come a long way since those early days. When I started here at Cellebrite last year, I made a point to go ahead, and I had been PA7 user up until that point. I went ahead and I was like, all right, if I'm going to be testing this thing, I need to get familiar with it. And now I hardly ever fire up 7 anymore. 8 is just, I've gotten used to it. I've developed that muscle memory that we talk about. I can navigate the interface. And so I certainly understand that there's some hesitancy out there to migrate from 7, because that's what you're used to, right? Cops hate change. People in general hate change. And so when you start changing your forensic software, it could be a little bit painful because some things may have moved. It may not work exactly as previous version. I completely understand that sentiment, but there are things that we want to do with Physical Analyzer that we just simply could not do with the architecture of 7. So, that's kind of where Insights comes into play, is it's allowing us to kind of take that next step to provide features like Media Origin in some upcoming releases. We've got some pretty nice things on the books for 24. So I can't really discuss them, but they just simply wouldn't be possible in 7 at all.
The 24 roadmap for Physical Analyzer is pretty exciting. So
yeah.
Wish we could just put it on the screen, but we can't. There's a lot of good things to look forward to.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty neat. I mean, it's a lot of it has come. Some of that has come through, internally, some things that we thought would be nice, some customer feedback, and some of the stuff came from the CTF. We went in and put it on the roadmap. Couldn't do it in 23, but it's on the roadmap for 24.
Nice. So obviously we're sort of in the midst of a rebrand, new emblems and names and things, and it's fun to poke at it. I'm so used to that thing, and I think if you looked at the PA logo, it's like a piece of paper being shredded or changed into smaller things. Like if you really look at the thing that you're used to.
I'm glad you know what it is, Jared.
Oh, exactly, right? So it's one of these things, just you're so used to the thing. And Josh, you said about muscle memory, and I remember after having switched over to PA Ultra, which of course now it will be Insights, that after a few months, I was like, I can't imagine waiting the hours. It's just the workflow improvement that came with it made me kind of forget, like, I can't imagine waiting and crashing and like the little things that made the days so long or painful sometimes with 7.
Yeah. One of the things I've noticed too is, when questions come in from Discord or from customers through Stump Us or Dream Team, I don't have to wait for an extraction to process.
Yeah.
I can just open one up. And I think I would like to think that the examiners have a similar benefit there. Like, if you think about it, you've got a case getting ready to go into trial and prosecutors calling you all in a panic because it's Friday and trial starts Monday. And I got these 20 questions I need to answer. Well, I don't have to reprocess it. I can just open it back up and answer the questions.
Yeah. And I mean, from a workflow standpoint, all of the waiting essentially at this point is going to be at the extraction phase, and then decoding. And then once you're finished, you're good to go. And Insights is bringing a streamline to that whole process. So essentially the manual waiting process is almost down to 0, which is exciting.
And
Now,
Paul mentioned that streamline, and that's something that we couldn't do if we were still in 7.
Exactly. Heather, talk to us about your career and the name changes and the things like this that you've experienced. It happens every few years. It's fun to talk.
Yeah. So I actually am a part of the marketing team at Cellebrite. It doesn't mean that I make the decisions on these things at all, for the record. But I remember when I first joined Cellebrite, this summer will be 5 years. When I first joined Cellebrite, they threw around the idea of renaming Physical Analyzer, because I think it was UFED Physical Analyzer. And they were like, it should be Cellebrite Physical Analyzer. It really has nothing to do with the UFED. And I flat out told marketing, who cares? You can call it UFED. You can call it Cellebrite. You can call it Insights. People are going to call it PA. It's still PA. It's going to be PA 10. So whatever we call it, whatever little icon is there, I remember freaking out when it went from the blue icon to orange. I didn't like it. I know my desktop. I know I'm going to search for a blue icon, but I had no idea that it's a piece of paper even shredding. Clearly the I stands out a little bit more, so we're not going to hide from the I. But branding, I think whenever you want to repackage something and make it special and make it have extra things, if you just said, oh, this is UFED, people are like, well, how is it different? You have UFED, I have UFED. If you can say I have Insights with UFED, that's what's going to make it different. But here's a thing. So if you go back to the meme that Josh was talking about, when I record Tip Tuesdays, you're going to see I've recorded so many for Ultra, and I did not switch to PA8 until the CTF. So I would say around August is when I finally gave up 7 and put my faith into 8. And I, just like Josh said, I've only been using 8 since then. Every Tip Tuesday I recorded, I think I usually say, like, here in PA Ultra, I want to show you this, or here in PA8. All of those are still going to exist. And what marketing is going to do is put a little banner saying this was recorded in PA Ultra. It is the same for Insights, because it's not that we're trying to sell you something brand new and pretend it's something different. There's just going to be, in this Tip Tuesday, if you're using Insights with PA10, you're going to see this feature, this feature, this feature. And as Josh was saying, people who are uncomfortable with fumbling around, there will be an entire fundamentals matter. There's also going to be mini, like 5 to 7 minute how to keyword search, how to navigate folder view, how to export files, simple things that we all do that may look a little bit different. There will be a video for everything. So it's the same PA. PA is not dead. PA for life. I'm from Pennsylvania. I should get like a PA tattoo, because if you're from Pennsylvania, you say PA, it's Physical Analyzer. I'm a PA for life. But I will give a little shout out to Lisa Cole is my boss. And I will say I worked with Nate, who is a brilliant designer that we have here at Cellebrite and comes up with all this creative stuff for us. And our community that is being released shortly, the 101, some people had some, what do I want to call it? Some eyesight into that. What do you like that? You like that? Some insight into the community. But the community also has the eyeball. And The reason is I want us as a team of people that do this work every single day. We see everything. We're aware of everything. It's kind of like when you're little and you hear like your mother has eyes on the back of her head. Like we have that eye that sees everything you do at all times. So you will see the 101 also has a different eyeball, but I was first. It was ours first. It was mine and Nate's first. And it was just so cool that it had to be stolen from. But in all seriousness, the 101 is going to be announced shortly. If you hit our landing page next week, you are going to see that we are running our first ever global summit. It's going to be the C2C case to closure summit in Washington, D.C. in August. A call for speakers is going out as well. So we want to hear your talks. We want to hear from you. There's going to be a Digital Justice Awards ceremony that we're holding as well. Operation Find Them All with Jared's Uplift series is coming. We have more Dig For, I Beg to Differ, Tip Tuesdays, webinars, blogs, the notebook, all the things. So all of the things are going to simplify this for you. As I said earlier, I suggested to Paul to do specific I Beg to Differs on what these things mean, how you can leverage them, why it makes a true difference. Jared mentioned earlier, we're doing a webinar talking through all the statistics, all the marketing stuff you've seen. Jared and I are going to put the why behind it.
Yeah, I want to make one clarification. For anyone that opens Insights PA, it's not something new. Like the user interface is not like this shocking experience, right? You're going to be just as comfortable as you were in 7, and that maybe tiny bit of change to 8. And so there's not some shocking change. For UFED only customers, you are going to experience essentially what was the premium interface, right? So we're a little bit of a change from the extraction point. But Paul, you can probably attest to this. We put a ton of effort into simplifying that to like as few clicks as possible so that you don't have to know much or guess. It's like devices plugged in, ready to go. So nothing shocking coming with this change, other than hopefully some new features that you'll be excited about, and all good things. But we won't leave you confused along the way. We will be here with content and support to make sure that everything is as clear as it can be. And if we need to make something specific, we'll do it.
All right. Thank you, everyone. We hope to see you back for the next Dig For.